Hey everyone, are we awake after food? My name is Mike Heijmans, and today I'm going to share with you my favorite children's book, How Early DevOps Investment Greased the Wheels of Acquisition. It's based on a true story. That's all I'm going to say about that. Deep breath. Meet Jen. Jen is a DevOps engineer, and she loves being a DevOps engineer. As a matter of fact, Jen here has probably been doing DevOps more than DevOps even existed as a thing, right? So, Jen was the first DevOps hire at an awesome early stage startup. And Jen walked into what I call an elegant mess. But it's okay because, like everyone else, Jen loves fixing things. So what did Jen do? She got right to work. She added proper monitoring. She chefed the infrastructure. She automated backups, as well as, automating basically everything in sight, because let's face it, we all love automating everything, right? Automating all the things made Jen feel all warm and fuzzy inside. As I say, like a warm blanket fresh out of the dryer, or an awesome hug from an empathetic DevOps peer. #HugOps. So this went on for months, and Jen continued making the automation better and removing single points of failure. And the product became more stable and was updated way more often as a result of it, because nobody was scared of anything anymore. Then one day, an awesome big company decided they wanted to acquire the awesome startup that Jen worked at. And Jen really was super excited about this because Jen had a pretty good spot on the cap table and was like, let's do it. So, as the owner of all the operations and infrastructure, Jen was asked to help with the diligence and transition process, naturally, and to assist with any infrastructure inquiries that the awesome big company may have or any questions that may arise. And they asked brutal questions like, how are the systems monitored? How is change management handled? How is user access secured? The obvious simple stuff that just happens in good DevOps practices. And Jen was super delighted with the questions because many of them were what I call DevOps common sense. She was excited that she was able to show the awesome big company everything that she had already done and everything that just made life easier, right? She said, we monitor all the systems in multiple ways. We use CI and CD automation for all change management. We use Chef for user access management and reproducible infrastructure, she said with confidence. We have central logging in place. We have a tested failover and backup strategy. We even have an on-call rotation, she said with delight. We tested that logging. Jen tested the backup all the time. There was a pattern emerging. Most of the questions being asked, Jen had already addressed in her normal day-to-day responsibilities, practicing all the tenets of DevOps. In fact, when it was all said and done, 90% of the acquisition concern areas related to the infrastructure were already addressed by the great work Jen had done prior to the prospect of acquisition. Let's take a second and let that sink in. 90% of the typical concern areas were a no-op. That's 90% of the problems that arise during acquisition no one had to worry about. So, with the tech aside, the lack of open concern areas helped build incredible confidence, positive perception during the entire negotiation process. You got to imagine, that looked really, really good from the big company side, right? And this resulted in smooth negotiations, a great valuation, and ultimately a very happy Jen. A very, very happy Jen because of the cap table thing we talked about earlier. So, how did this company do it? Early investment in a stable, maintainable, reproducible, automated, agile infrastructure. And really, that's what it's all about. It's your happy ending. Jen, she lived happily ever after on her boat in the Riviera, sipping fancy cocktails, just relaxing. Who else doesn't want that, right? So, thank you guys so much. My name's Mike Heijmans. I'd love to tell you more about Jen's adventures. You can come hit me up later, and let's see who's next.